Morning YouTubers, we're on the Ashby Canal and I've just left the town of Hinckley and we're heading towards the village of Stoke. It might not be far in miles between them two places, but there's so much I've got to pack into this little episode, and I hope you enjoy it. A lot of canals don't really look their best in the winter, but this place is still lovely. I'm going to have to make sure I come back here one summer in the future so that I can see it in its full bloom. What a pretty little marina. It's one of them places that I wouldn't mind living. My daughter Claire is coming to visit, so I've got to find somewhere to moor up where she can park. She started off at 7 o'clock this morning and it's about 10 o'clock now, so she's been driving for over 3 hours to come and see Dad.
Hello.
Hello darling, you alright?
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah. I'm back on my lonesome, so I'm going to push on for a bit. I keep seeing this old fella helping me out, but I don't recognise him. Can't be me, because I don't feel as old as that fella looks. What's that saying? Time and tide waits for no man. The aim today is to get just past Stoke. We're going to have a look at some interesting stuff along the way. The weather's a bit bleak, but one good thing, it's not raining. That's where Claire parked, over there on the right, and that little road, being so close to the canal, came in very handy. Posted on a few of these bridges that I've been going past are adverts to a farm shop, which is up here in front of us somewhere. As there's not many shops around this area, it was a godsend to have that little farm shop right on the canal. The lovely fresh food that they sell in there has made a nice change for me, because I've been getting cans and stuff like that out of convenience stores. There it is, over there. I'll show you when I took Claire up here the other day to get us some dinner. Cuts of meat and the fresh vegetables in here, so much better than what you get in these supermarkets. And these pies, delicious.
Alright. Yeah.
Hello there.
Okay.
I've got the camera on you today, look.
Thanks a lot.
Half a dozen please.
Yeah. Alright. There you go. Come back when I've got a full.
I'll probably be back tomorrow if you got some of them pork chops that I had last
Oh,
time.
I've got loads of pork chops coming tomorrow.
Alright then, well, I'll see you then.
Thanks so much.
Bye. The pork chops that I'm talking about are the ones with the kidneys still in them. Lovely. That's the village of Stoke Golding going up the hill there. And there's a lot of history that I found out about that place. And I'll show you some of that later. Over here on the right is the Ashby Boat Company. And you can hire them polytunnels out to paint your boat. I wonder how much they charge to hire one of them out. Because Aitch needs a new paint job. He's looking very tatty at the moment. I think this Ashby Boat Company have got the best looking hire boats that I've seen since I've been out here. Look smart, don't they? Looks like they're not short on customers. Turning right at this bridge is the road up to Stoke Golding. When I was walking up Crown Hill into the village, one of the first things that I noticed was a blue plaque on one of the houses, or one of the walls to the houses here. And it says, near this spot, following the Battle of Bosworth, King Henry VII was crowned, and thus began the Tudor dynasty on the 22nd of August 1485. And for those that don't know, Henry VII is the father of Henry VIII, who is arguably even more famous. The Battle of Bosworth took place in the year 1485, and it was the battle where King Richard III lost his life and his crown. And it turned out to be one of the last battles of the Wars of the Roses, which was a civil war between the houses of York and Lancaster. King Richard III was made even more famous, or infamous, when Shakespeare wrote a play about him. And also, there was a big fuss not so long ago when his remains was found under a car park in Leicester. Another interesting little fact, Richard III was the last English king to die on the battlefield. Henry Tudor, who was the head of the Lancastrians, won the battle and won the crown. And that was the start of the dynasty of the Tudors. Whilst I'm up here in the village, we'll have a quick look around, eh? There's a little convenience store there. They haven't got much stock, and what they have got is very expensive. Between the buildings there's an alleyway that leads up to the church. If you look above the trees, you can just make out the spire. It's called St. Margaret's. I couldn't find any exact dates on the church, but it's listed as Saxon, so that could be any time before 1066. Obviously there's been a lot of changes over the years. It's said that the villagers watched the Battle of Bosworth from the church tower. This church was also affected by the Second World War, hundreds of years later. The spire had to be taken down because of a temporary airfield that was built close by, but it was put back up again after the war. For years it was thought that the Battle of Bosworth actually took place near Sutton Cheney, which is about 2 miles further up down the canal. But recent archaeology has suggested that the battlefield was over there to the left, just past them trees. I don't know what's going to happen to the battlefield centre that they've built up there, because it's a bit irrelevant now. I do love the history of my country, and the things that I've learnt at school and since, and then going up these canals I've actually bumped into a lot of the places where it all happened, which is wonderful. There's a marina over here on the left called the Ashby Canal Centre. And there's a plaque on the bridge to the entrance that says the actual battle was behind this marina, in the fields you can see, behind them bushes and trees. And that's where the battlefield centre should really be. Thanks, mate. Right, let's get back to the narrowboating now. I'm thinking about mooring up somewhere here. There seems a decent bit of Armco to tie onto, but I don't mind banging in pins if I have to, but you get a lot more, or a better peace of mind when you're tied up to the Armco. There's more chance of waking up in the same place as you moored the boat. Normally I would go into the bank front ways, but as usual I was dithering on whether to moor there or not, so I'm going to have to back into it now. I've got Aitch moving in the direction that I want to go, so I've knocked it out of gear in case it's shallow there, don't want to damage the prop, and I'll jump off when I'm close enough. I think it's time to thank a few people for buying me a coffee. Thank you to Bert and Ernie, Steppy and Nick and Pam. Very much appreciated. And I've got 2 new members, plus Scrappy, Steve, David and Fran, Ruth, Timothy, Stephen from Czechoslovakia, Christine and Peter's new, and the last one wanted to be anonymous. And if anyone wants to know, the Buy Me a Coffee app is in the video description. But like I always say, I'm happiest if you watch the videos and you enjoy them. And that's good enough for me. So thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you like a little bit of history. And I hope to see you on the next one.